Hello again, everyone, and happy holidays. I hope you guys are having a great end of year. I had an idea to do another video. I wanted to do some sort of a video where I was going to be reviewing or talking about the year. This video is going to be talking about, the gear that I ended up selling, the gear that I do enjoy playing as well, and gear that I'm considering selling. So I'm asking myself these three questions. Do I enjoy it? Do I enjoy playing this? Is it inspiring creativity every time I sit down and play with it? Do I still use it? Even though I might enjoy playing it, am I using it? And another one, is it even worth selling, right? Sometimes the value of things drops so much. That's just something to take into consideration. What is the current market value for something like that used? Is it even worth it? Did you pay a little bit for it? You know what I mean? This can also give you some extra money to, continue exploring with new gear. And I'm not someone necessarily that likes to hoard. I like to have gear that's practical, things that I am actually going to end up using for recording purposes, for video purposes, things that I really enjoy to use. So starting from the beginning, I actually never shared this with anyone, but I had actually purchased an MPC-1. The MPC-1 was really a unique instrument that many people enjoy, and I did a lot of research on it, but it's so different, when you actually get hands-on with an instrument. For me, I guess in a quick summary, the instrument just didn't feel inspiring. It felt like I had to do so many things to make things possible. And, it's like a computer all in one. And people like to say, it's DAW-less, but, it's kind of a DAW in and of itself. But while I was playing it, I was like, this is so frustrating because I can do this and so much more using my actual DAW. I just kept finding myself going back to my computer to be able to actually do what I was wanting to do. So yeah, I ended up selling my MPC-1. That was just, again, my personal opinion. I know that there's other samplers out there, and I'm actually open to them and trying them. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. What's funny is I actually ended up getting a PO33, a pocket operator by Teenage Engineering, because I was like, all right, let me just get my feet wet here and even see if this is something that I would have fun with a handheld. And this is actually something that I have a lot of fun messing around with still. It's so easy to use and, just dish out some simple ideas. Have I, used it in a recording setting? I've tried in the past, but ultimately I don't necessarily use this one for recording. This one's just kind of fun to mess around on. Another one that's kind of fun to mess around on is my Volca modular. Although I haven't necessarily used that in a professional recording setting or on songs, and I know people have, and I've heard them and they sound great. This is another one that's really fun to just mess around on, and I find myself playing around on it a lot, just when I get that itch, and I need to scratch that itch. Is that how you say that? That's one that I don't want to sell it because I have a lot of fun with it, and it's fun plugging it into effects pedals and just messing around with it. You guys might have different approaches to that, like, well, I'm not being, productive, and so I don't want it anymore. I still want it. I think it's fun, and I think it's fun to show my children, just like this, kind of getting their feet wet with audio gear. That is definitely one that I'm going to be keeping, as well as my PO33 KO. Those are fun. One that I ended up selling that I actually did some videos on, and I've actually connected with others by having this instrument. It's the Basel Castle drum. It's like a little modular drum machine, and you can patch with it, and that's really fun to use. And I had fun using the tiny patch cables with my Volca modular and with my Moog Werkstatt. Those all have the tiny patch cables as well, and so it was fun to see exciting and different things happen with it. The reality, I was never using it, and then when I did sit down to use it, it took me forever to get where I wanted to be, or to find something that was actually useful for me. So I did end up selling it, and that one does hold its value. Just like the MPC-1, I was able to make pretty much all my money back on that one, and then the Basel Castle drum. I just lost a few dollars, and that's fine. This one's an interesting story. I purchased a Blipblox, and I got it because I wanted my children to have something where they could learn how to use synthesizers. I did a video on this. You can check that one out. And it's fun. It's a really fun. It's the original one. It's cool. It's clever. And my kids have fun messing around on it and me trying to explain to them, and it depends on what age level they are, because they'll experience or understand different things depending on how old they are. Babies like, ooh, blinking lights. And then, as they get older, they're like, oh, I'm noticing that when I twist this, it's doing something. So I ended up selling that, and I'll tell you why. I partnered with Blipblox, and they sent me the Blipblox SK2. In my opinion, it's a far superior instrument that really gives you results, better sound, more options, and it's something that I actually ended up playing as well as my children. So it was a win-win situation. I ended up selling that original Blipblox. I only lost a few dollars on it, so that one as well held its value. I really feel like the SK2 or I think it's called Dark Edition, those two are really great instruments that, if you want to get it and you're worried that your kids might not like it, you can get something that you will enjoy as well by upgrading or getting those higher end versions or models, if you will. Those ones are much more entertaining for an adult, in my opinion. So one that I actually am listing right now, and I don't know if this will still be listed when you see this video, but it is listed still. It is the Boss DR55. I loved how this thing sounded, and I love the history behind it, that, this is the one that was between the CR78 by Roland and the 808. It's right in the middle, and you can kind of tell just by looking at it, looking at the colors of it and how it sounds, and it's step writable. So you can write beats on it, and that's really cool. It's just for me personally, this was one more that was like, I'd rather just sample it and then have more flexibility and ability to control it than being limited to this. It's cool though, because you do have CV controls, and so this can be your master clock. It can send the pulse to your modular, semi-modular gear, and this can be the drum machine with that, and I've used that. And I've even used this in some of my recordings, but again, I sampled it, and then I chopped it up, cut it up how I wanted it to be. I'm selling it because I feel like I can get better use out of different instruments. It's a very dated piece of gear that just isn't meeting my expectations and what I want in a drum machine. This one, I believe, is from 1980, maybe 1979, depending on who you ask. So it's cool, it's listed. This one does hold its value on the market, but I think it's for a very niche audience. And a lot of you guys are gonna get mad at me about this one, but I am considering selling my Korg MS-20 Mini. I used to use this thing so much. The reason why I'm selling it is because I never use it anymore. All of the sounds and patching, I love to patch and I love to explore, and that's why I really love the Moog semi-modular line. The Korg MS-20, you can get some powerful sounds on it. It's fun playing a guitar through it. That was another huge reason why I got that. I had some ideas in mind for recording music. Again, I don't use it, and it's kind of just wasted space. Looks cool. I use it very rarely. So yeah, does the Korg MS-20 still hold its value? I think so. When you look online, you might lose like $100 depending on where you go, but that's still some good money that you could make and put towards another synthesizer. So yeah, you guys can tell me what you think in the comments below, if I should sell my MS-20 Mini. I'm just not using it anymore. I haven't listed it yet, but I'm probably gonna end up listing it. Everything I've done, I always am using my Minilog XD. My Minilog XD is actually one of my most favorite synthesizers, and I've always enjoyed this piece of instrument because I can do so much with it. It's polyphonic, I can save my patches. It has a digital oscillator, 2 analog oscillators, and built-in effects. There's just so much that synthesizer offers, and it has the authentic Korg sound, in my opinion. Let's talk about all of my Moog semi-modular gear. I have the Moog Matriarch. I have the Moog Sound Studio. I have the Moog Werkstatt. The Sound Studio is one that I kind of play by itself, along with this gear. I guess I mean outside of a DAW setting, you know, I play it more DAW-less because I feel like I have to jump through some hoops to get it to work with my DAW, and at times I'm like, is this worth it? You know, there are ways to sync it, but it never syncs how I want it to be to the clock. There's always something that's not working correctly or not timed correctly. I've worked around that limitation, and I still really enjoy playing it. It's great. It's fun to explore and create new things on it. And I have created recordings, and I plan to continue to record on it. The Matriarch is just a beast. I really love it. It's so warm and creamy. I use it DAW and DAW-less. I really enjoy this synthesizer, how it sounds, and the delay. The filter's so beautiful. You know, you can't save your patches, and I've seen some people, you know, there's some stuff on the computer that you can utilize to save patches, but I haven't, you know, gone into that realm yet. It's something that I'm willing to explore. The Werkstatt 01 is something that I actually have considered selling. I've modded it out. I've done a few videos. I love it. I love how old school that it sounds. You know, it really plays well with the Matriarch. It plays well with my other semi-modular gear. I really enjoy it, but I don't use it as much as some other stuff, but it is fun to just kind of play it by itself or connect a sequencer to it. I love hooking it up to the SQ1 by Korg little sequencer. That's a really fun device that I use with a lot of gear. Another one that I didn't get this year, but I'd never mentioned it, I actually ended up purchasing the Korg Micro Korg XL Plus. I know that's quite a name, but it was like the ultimate, because I always grew up wanting the Micro Korg, and you know, like the original one, and I was like, oh yeah, this one will have all the bells and whistles and more. But man, that was such an uninspiring instrument for me, because I really like to get hands-on and tweak and modify. That one's more about just like presets and then modifying presets. For me, that was just kind of lame. I actually ended up returning it. I tried it out for a month, and I was like, nah, this ain't working. Bye. So got rid of that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm gonna leave links to things that I'm listing, you know, online. I'm gonna be selling on Reverb, and I'm also gonna be leaving affiliate links for the gear that I do enjoy using, that I still play. This video wasn't meant to like demo all these instruments. It was more of like a discussion. Check out my music. I'm on all streaming platforms, Tiger Arcade. I'm on Instagram, Tiger Arcade. I mean, just search Tiger Arcade and you'll find me somewhere. We'll end on that note. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Hope you have a happy new year, happy holidays. Peace out.